This is a book review of the epic collection, The Amazing Spider-Man. This is The Goblin Lives. This is volume 4, 1967-68, and it includes The Amazing Spider-Man 53 to 67, Spectacular Spider-Man 1 and 2, Marvel Superheroes 14, and Not Brand Ek. And it includes a variety of different characters. You've got the Vulture, Mysterio, Kazar, of course Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and Captain Stacey turns up. Now, just going to quickly run through this. Predominantly colour. There's some black and white because of the Spectacular Spider-Man #1. So the first story, brilliant story. It runs quite a bit and beautifully restored and great colouring. And that's the Dr. Ock story. Dr. Octopus. Great yarn. You go all the way through there and then into the Kazar story. Kazar, of course, from his jungle. And he's battling poor old Spidey. Didn't have a chance, did he? Always the usual sort of story in these stories, misunderstandings. And then you've got a lovely bit with Gwen Stacey and, of course, her father. And go into the Kingpin. Kingpin story, brilliant story. Of course, Spidey battling. It's like toppling a mountain. Of course, a very tricky person to work with, I would have thought. He seems to be very intolerant and smashes everything in a merest whim. Of course, he's great story there. Into the classic Medusa. I love this story, Medusa one. This is Medusa is in Spider-Man. Which issue number was it? This is number 62. I love the fact that she's got orange hair at the front and then into red hair in the next. And she's also on this flyer. I don't really recall her going around on a flyer like that. But anyway. Still a good story. But then you've got the Spectacular Spider-Man issue 1. Lo, this monster. And this is in black and white. This is a mayor, someone running to become mayor. Our city needs. And of course, there's a monster involved, a mad scientist, and all the complexity as always. But I love the black and white. Great story. And even better with this is you've got a brilliant story there. You've also got the origin of Spider-Man, which is brilliant, but done, obviously, told differently. It's not the Steve Ditko one. They've gone for, which is weird, actually, in many ways. You'd think they would have put the black and white. They could have put it in black and white. Would have been interesting to see. Put it side by side, but they would never do that kind of thing. So, origin of Spidey, newly updated, it says, which is true. Larry Lieber. And you got next issue, don't dare miss, the rebirth of Green Lantern. Well, so you have to wait for a bit because then there's the Vulture, or Vultures, because there's 2 of them. And that's a good story. It runs for a few issues and then into Impossible Escape. He's in prison, goes into his prison, and that's a good yarn. Spidey battle. Then the Mysterio story, which I loved. Loved this in the UK because we had it in black and white, and I remember reading it. It was just awesome. Just this, the fact he was 6 inches tall, Spidey, in this sort of trapped in this great story. Fairground. Then into the next story, which is the Green Goblin. The Goblin Lives, and this is spectacular. You've got a bit of black and white. The Spider-Man saga, it just shows you a little bit of Spider-Man saga, and then into that and Green Goblin, and then you've got a really weird story. This one, this is the odd story of all of them, probably. Marvel Superheroes includes Spider-Man. I didn't understand that because to me, the Marvel Superheroes was always like Phantom Eagle, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel. It was a sort of showcase. So why did they suddenly put a Spider-Man story in there? I mean, I always wonder if this Spider-Man story was from somewhere else. Just never makes any sense. Just seems out of place. But it's brilliantly drawn. It's got Ross Andrew and Wild Bill Everett, they call him there. And this is good. This is apparently Ross Andrew's first work on Spidey. This is a rare 1968 story showcases future amazing Spider-Man artists. And got this obviously unstoppable creature. And then you go into the parodies. You've got some parodies, Not Brand Ek stories at the end. So that's back. So that's volume 4 of the epic collection, Amazing Spider-Man.